get out, you lock your car, and they're protected, so they can't search your car. And can you ask that someone comes pick your? If they try to tow your car, can you ask them if you can call a friend to pick it up instead? Do they have the right to deny that?
They do have a right to deny that. A lot of times, depending on what the charge is, they will probably let you have a friend come pick it up. A recent court case that's actually beneficial is in the past, any items that were in the car could be searched. Now, if you're a passenger in the vehicle and it's your purse, your backpack, and they are arresting the driver or they have suspicion of the driver, they can't search your personal belongings. You have a right to say, oh, wait, I'm the passenger, that's my backpack. They don't have a right to search that then. But anything that belongs to the driver is fair game. Also know, if you're driving someone else's vehicle, you're responsible for anything in that vehicle. So if they pull you over and they find something in the vehicle, you can say, it wasn't mine, I didn't know. You're going to end up battling that one out in court, and there's a good chance you'll probably lose. So be careful on whose vehicles you borrow. Make sure you're not taking off in someone's vehicle. You may be a big gun enthusiast who has them under the seat, so they are concealed. It may sound funny and weird, but we've come across those where it's been Dad's vehicle and Junior's been driving, and Junior's the one who gets caught with a concealed weapon. So make sure you know what's in a vehicle before you take off in it. When police officers come to your home and they want to search your home, the answer is no. If they have a warrant, you cannot stop them. But ask to see it, read it, know what they're looking for. If they're looking for a vehicle, the warrant is going to say any parts to a vehicle. So they're going to break it down to the smallest thing they could find so they can open every drawer in your home and look in those drawers. If they are looking for a person, they're not going to fit in your dresser drawer. Okay? So they're going to have to look in places where you could actually find a person. Okay? It still could be pretty small containers if they can claim, the person could curl up in it. You don't have to allow them into your home unless they have a search warrant. There are a couple exceptions. One, if the officer says they were chasing someone down the street and they ran into your house, then they can follow that person into your house. Or if the officer comes to your front door and they hear from inside the house, help me, oh my God, he's going to kill me, something that's going to raise alarm for them, that someone is in need of immediate attention there, they have a right to come in. But outside of that, they don't. And if you give an officer permission to come into your home, you can at any moment tell him he has to leave. But if he's already seen something in your home, it's a little late. When an officer comes to your front door, I suggest you step outside and close your door. That way they don't do that kind of looking over your shoulder. See what else you've got in there. See who else is in there. Always be polite, always be respectful, but don't invite them into your home. Unless you're the one who called them, because your house is burglarized or something. And just because we've been doing this a long time and we've seen the most outrageous things, if your house has been burglarized and you have contraband in your home, get rid of it before you invite the police in. Just a word of warning. When it comes to having children, and oh wait, this is yours.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Juveniles, that's okay. People 17 and under, I don't think I see any, but I'll go through it briefly again. Got one. All right. People under 17. Cool. They have constitutional rights too. They don't have to talk to the police. If they don't, it can't be held against them. What surprises a lot of people, though, is that the police can contact juveniles without telling their parents ahead of time. Many kids and parents are shocked to see this kind of thing happen. When the police read kids their rights, they do it more slowly. They explain each right, and they add a couple of things. One of the things they add in there is, do you want one of your parents or guardians here? But sometimes kids should ask for a parent and they don't, because they have other concerns that are extremely understandable. I still remember being a juvenile. The kids may think, oh my gosh, no, I don't want my mother here. If she leaves work one more time, she'll be fired. Or then who's going to babysit my little sister if she comes over here? Or, are you kidding? She'll find out and I'll be grounded. So a lot of kids have really legitimate reasons for not wanting a parent there. Also, sometimes kids aren't read their rights when the police talk to them. So sometimes they don't even realize they can have a parent there. And oftentimes kids don't understand what's at stake. They don't realize how much trouble they could get in. You know, sometimes kids as young as 14 years old are tried as adults in the criminal system. Kids even younger than that can be tried as an adult, although a judge would have to make that decision. That could happen as well. So even for a very young teen, a permanent conviction on their record for the rest of their life for a felony is at stake, and they're thinking more, I don't want my mother to lose her job, I don't want to be grounded, when they don't ask for a parent. So they really don't appreciate what's at stake. Even schools, kids do have rights at school, but even fewer than they have elsewhere, because courts realize that schools have to maintain order so that kids can learn and have to keep all of the students safe. So as long as the school has reasonable suspicion, which is just a little bit of evidence, even less than the probable cause that's required of police, they can pull kids out of class, question them, search them, and so forth. So it's really difficult for kids. And I think the best things for parents to do and for kids to realize is that they should ask for a parent. And it's really hard for kids, I think, because they're worried about having a consequence at school and that kind of thing. But what kids should do when they come into contact with the police is say, I'm sorry, my parents won't let me talk to you without them here. I'm not 18 yet. And so that way the kid isn't talking back or trying to take control. He or she is just saying, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to. You gotta call my parents. That's their rule. So I think that works the best. You know, just to sum up what we've been talking about, I really believe that if the police are violating your rights, you're not going to control them and you're not going to win in the moment the police contact. You're going to win later. And I really think that expression, you know, revenge is best served cold, really applies here. If you try to do something to end it or to control it at the time, you're going to lose, you're going to get in more trouble, you could get additional charges for assaulting a police officer or whatever. So I think what you should do is just don't say anything, try not to get hurt, try not to get killed, and then make a recording of what happened. If you know of anyone else who was there, get their name, get their phone number, get their address, get them to write down what they remember as soon as possible while their recollection is still fresh. If you were injured at all, get pictures. Even if you weren't injured, get photos of where it happened, because it could change. You know, they could resurface the road or add another building or a street light or something could be different. So make your own evidence, try to preserve it, don't say anything, and then you have a much higher chance of winning in the long term.
I don't want to be a jerk, but unless you have a film that's literally a smoking gun showing a cop doing something horrendously wrong, I really believe you get all the witnesses in the world. You can have character witnesses. You can have all kinds of details. You can have all kinds of people saying this, that, and the other didn't occur the way the policeman said it did. And it's almost impossible to find a jury in this country that's going to convict a cop of doing something wrong, unless you actually have a film showing the guy doing something blatantly wrong.
I agree with that.
I think that you were giving people a false hope that if something goes wrong and they get all of these witnesses and they get a great story, maybe even if they've got an audio recording of it, that things are going to work out for them. The fact is that 99.99% of the time it doesn't.
Well, our focus isn't upon, you know, getting police officers convicted or fired. Our focus is much more upon having people not getting convicted of an offense. So when I'm talking about winning in the end, I mean having yourself not get convicted of something. I think getting the police officer in trouble is extremely more difficult.